I am Jeff.
They call me Bruce.
Guinea John coming at you.
And it is time to buckle up, because you are taking the Cynic route.
Where raunchy wit and nostalgia meet bootleg intellect. We got pessimistic minds and optimistic hearts. If you're easily offended, then it's time that you depart. A bunch of dicks from Baltimore trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and what this life's about. Taking the Cynic route. On this episode, we talk about the fragile nature of balls, Bruce's trip to the 3D drive-in movie theater, Guinea John's hatred of Bon Jovi, and my colonoscopy. So, that should be fun. Sit back, listen, and enjoy. Taking the Cynic route.
He's got some balls and some cock. You gotta stroke his schlong or at least bite his nuts.
Mom?
So there's this fucking radio commercial where the woman on it says something about needing to check her emails. And that bothers the shit out of me so bad.
Oh, it should. It's terrible grammar.
Emails.
Well,
Like,
she's just referring to like every fucking piece of mail.
Okay,
right,
when you get your
emails.
fucking mail out of the mailbox, do you say, I need to go pick up my mails?
So,
No, but you say I have
if you
3
live
pieces of
downtown,
mail
yes.
today.
Right, 3 pieces of mail. You never once say, I've got mails.
Okay, that's true.
Never.
yeah, it's the same as like deer or like
Well,
you don't ever say
Right,
there's-
plural is
where
the
are
same
those
as
deers?
singular.
Right, yeah.
It could be a
Okay.
whole, or it could be one.
Okay.
I agree.
So I
feel you, I
need
feel
to
you.
read my I need to read my email.
Well, I
I
heard
need to look at my email. I need to check my email, not emails.
I heard a guy recently at a party. Well, it was
Now,
actually-
the only time you
Oh,
would
shit,
do
go
it
ahead,
is
there,
if
Chief.
now if I said I sent him 2
Sorry.
emails, then that would work.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Specifically.
Right. Or, you know,
All right.
if Guinea John once sucked off 2 emails.
What the fuck does that even mean? Emails.
You meant
oh my god.
emus.
Oh my
You
god.
got another story.
No, that's probably deer, though. The emu is probably singular and plural.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Anyway,
What about ostrich? Ostriches.
but no,
Ostrichi.
I heard.
It's probably emai.
Emai.
Jesus fucking Christ. I heard a guy say recently, I got 15 texts in the last 10 minutes. Like, and he,
Like the state?
right. He was trying to say texts,
Yeah, I
plural,
got it.
and he said it came out as Texas. I was like, I jotted it down, or I did something to not forget that. I didn't want to forget it.
Well, it's a good thing it's captured here for posterity.
Yeah.
They the other day.
I got another question unrelated, but have you ever known anybody that put like peanut butter on their balls and let a dog lick it off? Have you ever like? I know you've heard of that. Have you ever known anybody that has done that?
No.
That's a negative.
Am I looking at one?
Have you heard of
Where
that?
the fuck did that come from?
I've heard of it as a joke, like
Okay.
something that people used
Just
to
'cause,
say
like,
other people
I'm
did.
collecting little like I don't know like ideas. I like to.
What to do with your dog?
No. Let me finish. I'm working on some fiction. It's like a William Faulkner parody. It's a thing. People actually write William Faulkner parodies. It's easy to do because the guy's ass can be made an example of. Like the guy's just fucking. He writes stream of consciousness bullshit onto the page.
Yeah, I don't know anybody like that.
And like he fucking won a Nobel Prize for this shit. Like, dude, I don't even. Whatever.
So
Anyway, I'm collecting these little bits of Americana that are like interesting or weird and just like
and that's the one you're stuck on.
it's
The
in my
peanut butter
notebook of
balls
ideas.
and dogs?
Yeah, it's just my notebook. I'm gonna have one of the characters in this Faulkner-esque little sort of prose thing I'm doing. I'm gonna have that happening. There's one guy drops his shotgun. There's
in
one guy,
long, explicit detail. Like what
I haven't written it yet.
demographic?
I haven't written it yet.
What demographic?
We're talking about the
are
Deep
you
South, ignorance, that type of
Danielle
thing.
Steele descriptions.
Yeah. His whole thing was writing
Got
about like
Fabio on the front cover with a jar of Jiffy. Like fucking
don't even-
Jif
Lassie.
peanut butter.
Jiffy.
Lassie with the Fabio mane.
Right? Yeah.
That part's not written yet, but there's this one scene This guy drops his shotgun, and it shoots his own fucking head off because he drops his shotgun and he's clumsy.
All right, let's rewind for a second. Chunky or creamy? I mean,
Dude, have to be creamy.
These are the decisions
We wouldn't want the dogs even thinking about using their teeth.
Well, it depends how
Chunky
you want this.
might engage
Depends how you want this story to go, pal.
Personally,
That's a good point.
Oh my God!
I have not written it yet.
Hold on, two things. One, don't let me forget cockfight.
Because there's a cockfight.
Did you hear on the radio this morning?
Which radio?
Any radio.
Go ahead.
It was, I guess it went around on the Associated Press. So this husband and wife were at some cockfight with their father-in-law.
Where are we talking?
I did hear this. Go on.
They were all drunk. They were arguing. Apparently they had brought a rooster to this cockfight and it wasn't doing well, and they were having arguments about what to do.
This was in
Yes, I heard.
Where?
So-
in America somewhere?
I don't know if it was an illegal cockfight, if it was in South America. I have no idea.
All right, go ahead.
I forget the location.
Location, not important.
Not important at all.
So
you know the story?
Yeah,
I
I
not
heard
heard
this
so
morning.
the man and woman, husband, wife,
Christ.
drunk, arguing. Father-in-law tries to intervene. Wife doesn't like father-in-law intervening. Grabs him by his balls and fucking squeezes so hard they pop and he dies instantly. So now she is facing charges. She killed him by popping his nuts, man.
Death by nut squeeze. Ain't that some shit?
Can you even? I mean, you've been hit there.
Oh, I've been
and
hit there.
and it
A
drops you, and it hurts the worst. Can you imagine having somebody grip them and squeezing them to the point where they rupture?
Just last week, there was an MMA fight where a guy got.
Oh my God!
kicked.
Yeah, I
Did you
saw
see
that guy kicked. Right.
Yeah.
and he's just screaming in.
He's weeping.
Right.
And this big, giant Asian, 300-pound fighter guy got one of his nuts popped by a kick.
I didn't realize one got popped.
Popped it.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
yeah. The guy kicked him square, he must have big toed him right in the ball. It was a solid kick too, and it wasn't like he was trying to kick him in the balls. It was just one of those freak occurrences.
Yeah.
Unlike
He's still
his
a trained kicker.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
He's still
right. He still practiced that move multiple times.
Right.
Against something a lot
kick you
with something
in
a
the
lot more
balls.
resistance than a testicle.
I don't want the Asian Thai fighter. I want my grandmother who can
Right.
barely lift her leg. Oh, squeezing them.
Dude, oh my God, Jesus Christ!
I know.
How could you even do that to somebody?
Right.
For as mortifying as that is, literally, for as unpleasant to even think about, let alone discuss, I am curious morbidly about the anatomical, biological process of how that led to death.
I mean,
I'm very curious about that.
They're definitely attached to your entire nervous system. I remember one time I was at my parents'
Cut them off and still live, right?
Yeah, but that's like surgical.
Yeah. Maybe the shock. Heart attack.
maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, getting it popped. I mean, it's possible. They said. I thought they said it was it bleeding. I think they said has something to do with it.
And we're back to this. This is
internal
full
bleeding.
circle.
Right.
Full circle.
But
Lot of blood
I
and poop.
do know that once I was at my parents' house. Mom was cooking some food, maybe some breakfast or something. I don't remember what. She had a roll of bagels out. Used most of the bagels. One bagel left in the bag.
Where's this going, man? Did you do an American Pie on this bag of bagels or what?
one bagel left in the bag. So I close up the bag. I'm swinging it around like a pair of nunchucks, pretending like I'm going to hit my mom with this fucking bagel nunchuck that I have. So I'm swinging around like an idiot. Rack myself in the scrot.
Oh.
And immediately, pretty much, that is exactly how it went. And immediately, my body functions just stopped.
Yeah.
And my whole body just went limp. I literally dropped to the floor. It brought tears to my eyes.
I've been there.
It was so ridiculous. It wasn't even clutched my balls and slowly fell over. It was an immediate,
Instant.
all muscles just went limp and I just fell to the ground. So just from getting a bagel to him.
Well, I was wrestling around with the kids one time and Jude punched me square in the nut and it dropped me like a sack of potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I was just breathless, just like
Right.
just like someone It's the same as almost the same as getting punched in the stomach, but
Worse.
Yeah, way worse.
I've definitely had like sometimes like even a graze will do
Right.
it to you. I've had a few of those, but nothing. Thank the good Lord.
How much
nothing
would we
too
have to pay
traumatic.
you to just take one in the balls?
Oh, there's nothing you could put. Obviously, the story is scaring the fucking living shit out of me.
There's no amount.
Just a bagel. A bagel.
No, nothing.
No, we won't even
Zero.
swing it. We'll throw the bagel.
Definitely
Zero,
gonna videotape
nothing.
it though.
Be like a dunk tank. Like just your fucking balls hanging down.
Oh yeah, great. And then I get to be submerged in water where I can't breathe immediately after.
Just paint a big bullseye on your balls.
As we throw bagels
We'll
at
just
it.
throw like bean bags
balls
at
are
it.
sensitive.
Marbles.
Throw bean bags at your bean bag.
That'd be great. $100 cash.
Oh my god. No.
I mean, I'll do it for
Off limits. That shit's off limits.
Luckily,
man.
I'm not a good shot. But the rules are for the 100. I have to keep throwing until I hit. Just one hit, man.
Yeah, they're delicate.
I'm surprised that the cup, like the cup that like
I'm surprised.
athletes wear.
Job strap.
I'm surprised that those aren't more commonly used.
I'm surprised physically the way our bodies have evolved over the years that our testicles haven't receded into a more protected area.
That's a good
It's a
point.
temperature thing. To produce the sperm or whatever, they have to be cool. So that's why
yeah.
they. And then you go swimming. We've all now seen the Hugh Jackman ball sack movie that you so elegantly.
That was available for me to find too.
I'm so happy that you showed that to me because it's hilarious. But like when it's cold, they go up, or that's
Right.
all relative to producing sperm.
But yeah, I'm
Good
surprised after
swimmers.
all this time, our bodies haven't evolved better than
Yeah.
that. You know, like
Oh,
we should have like a.
He's saying it's like a perfectly calibrated system, is what
I
he's
mean,
saying.
but I would think by now we will have grown like
Better.
a turtle shell over it or something.
Oh, in terms of protection, absolutely.
Humans
Or a
in
banana.
general.
Yeah, I mean, we're
banana
soft.
peel.
I mean, as far as animals go, we are fucking soft.
Oh yeah, you take weapons out of the equation and we're fucked.
Right.
Like we're not going against a bear without a gun.
Right.
Like,
and even with a gun, half the people get eaten. you know?
exactly. So
Right.
our weapon is the mind for sure. That's the as far as anatomically.
Right.
Okay, I'm glad that you all can make it today. Now that you're settled, I'd like to welcome you all to Lou Ferrigno's Body Perfection. Before we begin, I'd like to explain why I developed this video. For a simple reason, I want people to feel as good about themselves as I do.
I went to a film festival on Sunday it's called 3 Dementia. And it was 5 3D movies from the 70s and 80s, like actual old film prints. You know, a lot of this shit you can't see like this.
So what
anywhere
what'd you
else.
see?
Well, it opened with Friday the 13th 3, which was originally filmed in 3D. Damn. It's just full of like eyeballs popping out and spear guns and pitchforks and whatnot shooting in your face. You'd love it.
Let's sample that. Shooting in your face. They'd love it.
Then they played Treasure of the Four Crowns, which is like an Italian Raiders of the Lost Ark ripoff.
Was it in Italian with subtitles?
No,
or-
no, it was English.
Oh, but it was like.
I mean, some
Italy or-
of the people were dubbed, and like, did you ever see like that Lou Ferrigno Hercules movie?
Holy crap!
The one where he gets so mad that he throws a bear in outer space. It's the funniest fucking
No,
thing
I've
I ever
never
saw in my
seen
entire.
that.
It's the funniest fucking thing I ever saw in my entire life. Anyway,
And he became Orion, the Star Belt. Or
yeah,
something.
actually, or no, he becomes Ursa Major.
Or that's it.
'Cause
Yeah,
he's a bear,
Orion's the
right,
hunter that would
right.
hunt the bear. The bear itself is Ursa. Got it.
No, but that actually does happen. That's a good call. It like 100% fucking happens.
Could write these things.
Where were you in 1980 Italy with a deaf
Dude,
bodybuilder?
right around that same time, 82, Clash of the Titans was
Right.
filmed.
Was that
I think
Harry
probably
Hamlin?
around Greece.
Yeah,
so
Harry Hamlin. Right, all
That
Ray
was
Harryhausen
that was
stuff.
huge for me, man. With that, I don't know what they did. It was it wasn't claymation necessarily. It was some sort of like
It's stop motion still.
yeah, stop motion. Okay.
Now that's one. Have you watched recently? Because I have watched it recently.
Yeah, it doesn't really hold up quite as
Oh,
well
it's terrible.
as it
I
does when
thought
you're a
it-
kid.
Actually, my daughter, I brought her up with some Clash of the Titans, 1982, and it was powerful still.
Although
to
I still
me.
like it better than the new version.
But a lot of the power for me seeing it recently had to do with the nostalgia factor.
Right.
I
right.
mean,
Right.
for a person like today not having seen it, they'd be like, "Well, interesting, like archival fossil."
Yeah, I
early
still
special
get I
effects.
still get kick out some of that early Ray Harryhausen stop motion stuff, like Jason and the Argonauts and like Golden Voyage of Sinbad and all that stuff.
Those are other films of that same genre.
Yeah, yeah. You've never seen?
Never seen those.
How the fuck did you even survive this long in life? Like, were you
Picked up my guitar.
were you just in a box? Like, I'm shocked at the amount of stuff because you're reasonably close in age to me, so I'm just surprised you never saw
That's
all
just
this any
all
of
those-
this stuff like when we were kids on TV.
Now, to play devil's advocate, you have seen like probably 300 times the amount of movies as the average person.
This is true, but I would figure at least. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, it was on TV all the time. Like, how could I'm just shocked that even on like a rainy Saturday or something, you would have stumbled across it by accident. Especially if you liked Clash of the Titans, I would think that you would,
Well,
keep your eyes a
it's
little more
possible.
open for stuff like that.
Well, one thing that's possible is that my dad had Showtime for a lot of the 80s.
Right.
So he was beaten off.
But that's all he had. He didn't have, like, if something was on HBO, let's say, if HBO had the rights and played something to death, I would never see that. So that might be part of it, to be perfectly straight. And other such factors. Here's an example of this shit. All through the 80s, the local sort of like station, like TV stations in my hometown
Right.
would play those old fugitives with David Jansen and Barry Morse.
Right.
It was black and white. There were like 5 seasons, the 60s, like fucking really awesome just TV screen.
Was it
acting.
black and white, or were you watching it on
No,
black and
it
white
was
TV?
made in black and white. Except for like the last episode or something, I think was in color. My local station would play the shit out of those old fugitives for years, and it was awesome. And I saw them all more than once, and I loved David Jansen and the character, and fucking loved it. And then that Harrison Ford movie comes out. Mm-hmm. And ABC, as part of their marketing, plays on prime time one Sunday night, it probably was, the final episode of The Fugitive where he catches the one-armed man, and the David Jansen final episode, which is like this nostalgic thing for baby boomers or whatever, right?
Right.
At the moment that they, from ABC, aired that, you never saw another Fugitive episode on TV ever again. Ever. Just fucking crickets. My theory is, I think it's a pretty solid one, is ABC just bought the fucking Fugitives, every last fucking one of them. Their money shot, splattered it all over the face of America with fucking that last episode is all they gave a rat's ass about, and then they let those other ones sit in their fucking cellar collecting fucking dust for 25 goddamn years. This is Guinea John, and I approve this message.
Or the show just could have sucked and they decided it wasn't worth airtime. I mean, that happens too.
Well, especially now, you kind of, a lot of the stuff you need in
L'avvocato del diavolo.
high definition, and a lot of times these studios didn't really think much of their television shows, so they ended up just trashing a lot of the elements, like the original materials for them. So in order to get like decent prints of them anymore, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Or expensive, depending how they're edited.
Here's a question. In this age of so many choices of how to get our media, what do you recommend is like the best way to like just watch movies? If you think of a movie you want to watch, what's the best way to watch that fucking movie?
I still do physical.
What does that fucking mean?
I go physical media. I mean, I still buy CDs. I still buy
Okay.
DVDs, Blu-rays.
Okay, we got Olivia Newton-John over here at the table. We got Olivia Newton-fucking John.
We got Martin Landau and his method of retrieving media. If it's not on Laserdisc, I want nothing to do with it.
Beta.
Get off my lawn.
Jeez. Physical. All right, well,
Netflix.
but what if
Fuck that. Netflix.
What if a movie occurs to me and like I
Get a cracked,
I just want to watch it now.
get
Like,
a cracked fire stick.
Well, maybe you should learn some goddamn patience and humbleness, you greedy motherfucker.
is there yet?
Why
I guess
is it?
my
Why is
question.
it about you all the time?
All these Netflixes and
Right.
like what's the other one?
Netflixes.
What's that other one?
Goddamn Netflixes and then
Hulu's one, Amazon's one.
all the goddamn Hulus.
All these like programming like fucking
Streaming companies, right?
They're getting closer, but they're still not there where any fucking title that's ever been in the archive of film history.
I mean, it's all about licensing.
For the
Jesus
most part.
Christ,
It's all
what are you
licensing,
asking?
dude.
I type
for?
it in,
How
and
much
then there
more-
it fucking is.
How
Like,
much
that's
more
the ultimate
could you
goal right there.
Right. But you got to expect that these people, like, they have to pay for everything
Right.
that you watch.
Oh, I'll still sit through this 30-second ad or, whatever. Like, there's ways that they recoup that.
But
Go
do
ahead.
you know that, like, do you know the scale of the question you're asking? Of the billions of pieces of movies and television shows over the past 100 years, or
which have
whatever.
all been archived at this point digitally, is what I'm saying. Is this a way to get them
But you have to pay for all of them.
in a corral? Yeah.
Like,
And different people own different ones and have different demands.
Okay.
And different.
Okay. This is why it's going slowly.
Right. There's still people that, a lot of the movies I like are, kind of the weird and obscure oddball shit from, 60s, 70s, 80s. Some of the people that made these movies are more or less fucking lunatics who are convinced that their catalog of stuff is worth millions of dollars. And they won't let anybody get near it. They won't let anybody get anywhere close, even to like get them out on DVD and Blu-ray and stuff. They're content to just sit on them rather than, take what they think's a bad deal, even though it's, more than generous given the market.
Okay.
So, that stuff's not going to hit streaming anytime soon, especially not
And you know
with
what?
the rates that, from my understanding, they still don't know how to properly get people to pay for these, this streaming stuff to the point where the content that's on there is actually of any value. So unless you're like a major studio that has hundreds and hundreds of movies pumped into one of these sites, if you're just an independent person with just a couple movies, the money that they're offering per stream for this is like fractions of a penny. So everybody I know that's had anything streaming through any of the major sites say, there's almost zero money to it whatsoever.
see, that's weird because all the stand-up guys that have their specials on there talk about how much money they make off a Netflix special. So they're making.
Well,
unless they have better
it's
deals.
probably, I imagine their deals, though, aren't necessarily per stream. Their deals are probably with Netflix, who's trying to put original content on there to get those subscription fees into their service.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. I guess if they get a lump sum,
Right.
but it's still they get something for the amount of streams. I mean, maybe there's
Probably.
incentive, but it didn't sound. It sounded like they were all doing very well,
Right.
Like the Rogans and the Ari Shafirs, and the fact that they were the Bill Burrs. Well, the fact that they're pushing their fucking Netflix special so hard, and that he's pushing F is for Family, his new Netflix cartoon. Like, I mean, obviously you're gonna push whatever you're working on, but
Right. Yeah, because
there's a reason they went to Netflix, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much Netflix, they've kind of gotten to the point now where they're trying to push their original programming so much to get live subscriptions just for that. I'm pretty sure they want to get to a point where they don't have to send out any physical media anymore to anybody.
I didn't even know they still did.
Yeah, I still get the discs.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
And then they don't want to have licensing deals with any of these other, studios anymore. They want to get it to a point where it's a subscription service for their own original content because that's the way they would profit the most.
Yeah, but they're the best. I mean, some of the best original content. So I got no.
I agree. Yeah,
I got no problem. With
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff being made for these streaming services is really original, unique stuff. I mean, some of it sucks.
There's a lot
But
of good shit
I like that it's kind of making the cable companies try a little harder too. I think to try to compete.
Totally.
But now the biggest problem is there's so many channels and there's so much content out there that everybody expects all these shows to look just like big major Hollywood blockbuster movies. They expect this huge production value when they're all competing for a market now. It's just a TV thing. But a person, they're not going to sit through a show that looks cheap anymore.
Right.
So yeah, the cost and production of all these TV shows has risen, and you don't have necessarily the longevity and the willingness of a network to take a chance on a show that needs to build because they need such immediate turnaround because everything's so expensive now.
Yeah. as far as staying physical though goes, Amazon is done a really good job. I mean, any fucking thing you type into there, like you can find a physical version of it. Like any like fucking object for sale, like in any store, like they can get to your door like in 2 days or whatever it is, 3 days. Which to me, that's a consolidation that's good. I mean, I guess they're huge.
As far as your original question of being able to search for a movie or TV show and have an infinite, basically not stump it, not stump the search engine. The closest that I've ever seen to that is these jailbroken Amazon Fire Sticks with the Kodi app.
I was going to ask about that.
So my boss has one. He's like, I've yet to find something it did not have, because it sources so many people in the world who are each themselves uploading whatever, like from their own computers as servers. So essentially, someone in the world, the odds are, is going to be streaming something that you're searching for.
Right.
It just may take longer or may not be as quality of a resolution.
Right.
But you can even get live pay-per-view events and shit like that, and every porn channel.
What's it called one more time?
It's called just like an Amazon Fire Stick. You don't even need that. You can just download the Kodi app. I think it's Kodi. But just Google a YouTube video on how to do it. You can. I know they sell them jailbroken down at North Point Flea Market for like $60. So
okay. Jailbroken means what?
Meaning, like,
basically they've been chipped.
It's hacked.
Right.
It's all software. It's like they already have the programs on them that you need to watch.
It's illegal. You're basically illegal.
Now,
like, you remember how people used to like steal cable?
The scrambler boxes.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Right. Descrambler boxes and stuff like that. It's like that.
Kind of. But the thing is, now the way they're fighting it, because I think they're starting to crack down on this somehow.
Right.
But they're fighting it because they're saying the act of streaming isn't theft. The only people that can truly be prosecuted are the people that are uploading the material.
Oh.
Right.
So if you're just watching the shit, so then I don't get what's your incentive for anyone to do it. But I guess that maybe they make some kind of revenue from hits on their IP or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? But either way, that seems to be working for a lot of people. They're popular now. If you have a smart TV, you could probably just get the app. But the Fire Stick essentially turns any TV with a USB port into a smart TV. Right. That's basically all the Fire Stick does.
A jailbroken Fire Stick or a regular Fire Stick?
A regular Fire Stick.
Okay.
But a jailbroken one will already have all the stuff that you need to watch free shit.
Just learn something.
It might be illegal, but when has that stopped us from doing anything?
So, movie number 3 was Rottweiler.
So a lot of dog saliva was flying out at you, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. It's these military trained Rottweilers are created by this government program, and they're getting shipped via tractor trailer through the wilds of North Carolina. When the truck overturns,
great, of course it does,
and unleashes a pack of angry Rottweilers.
First question: do they kill the driver?
Yes, they can. And then they kill some models and like some people.
Do they eat anything
like,
from, or do they just kill to kill?
They just kill because they hate humans. They've been trained.
All right.
So yeah, shot in North Carolina. Totally regional, totally ridiculous. At the end, you got this old sheriff like blowing the heads off these dogs and stuff as they're trying to attack like a bunch of prom kids or whatever. So the whole reason I went into this was for movie number 4, which is by the same director, same team, another shot in North Carolina masterpiece called Hit the Road Runnin', which is a like Smokey and the Bandit, Dukes of Hazzard kind of ripoff. Lots of Southern hit characters, car chases, car crashes, which goes with any good car chase.
Right. But
the music was done. Music was actually done by David Allan Coe.
No way.
Oh wow.
And like he's singing like the theme song and stuff. And periodically will interrupt the movie as like a sort of Greek chorus. We'll just have like dun 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 dun. Here comes Bo Jim driving down the road, and his brother is his best man, and then just all this absolutely ridiculous stuff that will just like last like a verse, and then it'll go back into the movie, and so it was totally wild. But yeah, so I had a good time with that. I thought you'd get a kick out of him.
What's happening on the screen during that part that you said was a cutaway? Like, what do you?
I mean, that would just be over top of whatever's happening on the screen. Which what's happening on the screen would just basically be described by this verse of music that pops up out of nowhere.
Is there anything like I don't know, racially inappropriate about David Allan Coe that you heard in the movie?
No, not of his stuff. But I mean, it's all it's a bunch of Southern characters, so they're all a little casually racist, I guess.
Yeah.
There was a joke in Rottweiler where some redneck hunter was going to go out and shoot all these dogs. He said, "I'm going to teach them to speak Chinese. They'd see me coming and they'd say, 'One gone.'"
Oh, Christ.
I'm just like, oh.
There's Guinea John. His new favorite joke.
Right.
What the one gone?
Right.
Why is it my new favorite joke? I don't
it
get
just
it.
sounds like a joke you tell over.
Sounds like Guinea John.
Trying to say I'm like part Chinese or something.
No, you said that.
There's a theory. Yeah, there's a theory.
And then movie number 5.
There's a 5?
Was Revenge of the Shogun Women.
Oh, fuck.
Where a bunch of women that were raped. And since, once you're raped, you're considered, damaged goods pretty much. So they all join, they get thee to a nunnery, join a convent, which is just happens to be like Shaolin Temple. And then they all learn martial arts. And then this gang of bandits comes around and
rapes them again.
No, they have to fight them. Now they can fight back since they're all tough. Including like this one dude that has like this giant long kung fu ponytail and like swing his head around and whip you with it and like stab you at it. And it's all like it's 3D and it's like the most gratuitous 3D you've ever fucking seen. Because like every 2 seconds something else is flying at you like a fucking chopstick or a ponytail or a throwing star or whatever, an axe. And at the end, the girls take the dude's ponytail and they jump into a tree and rip up and it rips off his entire scalp. And then, like, of course that comes flying at you. And, it's totally ridiculous. Anyway, so yes, so five 3D movies.
5 3D movies. So is
in a
there
row.
a break in there?
I mean, they have 10-minute break between the movies.
I don't know
pretty
if my
much.
fucking eyes could take that.
Yeah, I was pretty cross-eyed by the time I was going home. And the director of Rottweiler and Hit the Ground Running. Hit the Road Running actually came up and did like introductions and Q&A and stuff.
Oh man.
So yes, that's how I spent my Sunday.
Ooh. Wow. Anything coming up at Comic-Con that you know of or care about?
No, I mean they're gonna. I don't know. I'm sure they're gonna leak a whole bunch of shit. Yeah. Whatever the newest, coolest, thing that the studios want to jam down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices.
Bon Jovi can suck my dick.
So we were talking about like how companies pay money to do brand imprinting inside of like films and TV shows and stuff. Like a character drinks a Coke or whatever. Coke obviously paid that production company or whatever to have Coke, in the shot. Fine. That's fine. Whatever. Free market.
Or if some cases, it's not even necessarily that they paid, they just donated it, or they allowed it to be used. Because you have to clear all that shit. You can't just use stuff off the shelf.
Right.
Unfortunately, which is ridiculous. But if you want your movie to look realistic,
I wonder how that works.
You have to get all this stuff cleared by these companies to actually show up on screen. That's why sometimes if you watch certain movies that they didn't get stuff cleared, you'll notice that the labels are never turned, like you never see what the product actually is.
Right.
Or it'll just be like some sort of like off generic, like close but not quite the same product that they fake.
Or they'll all be driving Toyota 4Runners.
Right.
So
That's the worst.
Or every can of whatever is like logo facing the
Parked
camera.
perfect so you see the emblem.
Right.
So I feel that like it's gone beyond just simple products like that now. Like it goes into like concepts and well, I'll start with this. Like, in the Spider-Man movie this past summer of 2017, it's like this high school and there's like this little 14-year-old ninth grader in 2017, millennial, right? Who gets there's this 5-second scene where he just gets all excited and about Bon Jovi. Just completely random. There's not a song playing. The kid just like his face lights up and he says blah 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 Bon Jovi, blah, and then it cuts to another scene. Like, okay, well, obviously Bon Jovi has an image consultant or some sort of person or that like his agent or somebody that paid Marvel for that 5 seconds to occur. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm willing to guarantee that did not happen.
Yeah. Or
why? Why are you so sure?
Or they were just trying to make some sort of reference like that. Like you can
so who's ever writing the
guy who
screenplay
wrote the script
just
happens to like Bon Jovi.
Okay.
or just thought that would be a funny reference.
A funny reference because it's so anomalous.
Because it's some sort of pop culture thing.
Okay, but see here, a 14-year-old in 2017 isn't going to give a rat's ass about Bon Jovi.
Right, but they might mention it.
The 14-year-old didn't write the script. It was probably like a 43-year-old who really liked Slippery When Wet.
Or these millennial kids nowadays, most of what they know about the 80s, they've gotten from
Okay, I'll go you one further.
Cultural references. They know more about the 80s from movies about the 80s than the actual 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe Bon Jovi's in the Illuminati and paid.
Well, not Illuminati, but just like free market pay. Money talks. Like here. Okay, let me tell you. Let me
I
finish
also
this.
don't think Bon Jovi has any money to give to anybody.
Well, hold on though, because not even a few days later, I happened to be flipping around. I landed on that show Beat Shazam with Jamie Foxx. Have you ever seen any of it?
that would be a negative.
Nope.
Okay, well, don't waste your time. But the point is, there was like this segment. I happened to flip to it during this segment where the whole theme of the segment was probably like a 5 to 8 minute between Geico commercials and hamburger commercials, whatever, right? Where every song in the round, it was a Bon Jovi round, and they had to guess. Every song was a Bon Jovi song. Whoever buzzed in first and guessed it or whatever won 1 point. And this was like a week after I had seen that Spider-Man movie, and that's when it connected with me. That's when I put it together. I didn't walk out of the film thinking that. It wasn't until I saw this Beat Shazam segment. I'm like, well, wait a fucking goddamn minute. This was a fucking 5 to 8 minute advertisement for Bon Jovi with Jamie Foxx as the MC. That's all that was. That's all it was.
Now, is that like a game show or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a game show.
Okay,
Yeah.
so who the hell do you think it is that's writing the questions for these game shows? Do you think it's like some fucking 65-year-old dude that only knows shit from the 40s? Or do you think it's somebody like my age who grew up in the 80s and they're now in the workforce and it's now their job to come up with questions and shit for that?
Sure.
So, of course, they're going to pull shit from... That's why, there's so many remakes and there's so of these 80s movies and 80s TV shows. And there's so much 80s pop culture nostalgia going around right now because... It's all people my age that grew up in the 80s that are now in the positions to do these things.
Yeah, to pay for things.
Right. And they're putting, the stuff that they're nostalgic about into these projects.
Okay, I got that. I see that.
Yeah, so in like another 10 or
like
15 years, we're fucked. Because everything's going to be bullshit 90s crap.
And as we all know, the 90s were just about soulless and worthless as it gets.
I like to think that like somebody who's high enough ranked at Marvel has better taste than if they're going to fucking plug in a reference. Maybe they could have had the kid mention King Crimson or.
But
that's
but you know what?
That's your opinion.
But the thing is,
there's a lot of assholes that love Bon Jovi.
Right. Mentioning King Crimson isn't going to have that same sort of nostalgia factor to the market that they're aiming for.
I guess you're right. Just taking a cynic route here, guys.
But they're wanting people our age to go to that because, people our age theoretically have kids that they can take to that. And we're the ones with the disposable income to buy the DVDs. And, they want that market in addition to the youth market.
Well, all right. I mean, just like I used to get mad about SpongeBob and all the sugar bullshit that we give our small children. Like, we give them such shit, whether it's through their eyes or in their stomachs. I just feel like we can aim a little higher than Bon Jovi. I think that's my closure point on that. if we're gonna like,
Bon Jovi is equivalent to sugar.
like,
it's just.
Well, what do you have against Bon Jovi?
well, at least sugar gets me high and like makes me feel good for a short amount of time. I don't know. I think there's a deep-seated thing there because when I was in middle school, all like the attractive whatever like girls were.
Here
like,
it is. Here's the real underlying reason. Go on.
Well, I can't lie. I mean,
Well, I'm happy we were able to help you work through this.
like there I was already
on,
knowing what
go
good
on.
music was when I was in 8th fucking grade. I knew what good music was, and all these fucking attractive women or girls. Let me not call them women, please. These were fucking girls.
Right.
Easy there, Weinstein.
And they're like, Bon Jovi, yeah. Yeah. And I was at this dance, and this one girl kept shouting, "Play Shot Through the Heart." And I'm like, it's not the name of the song. At least even I knew. Like, call it by the fucking song title. Don't call it by some shit that it's not. Like, I would get so pissed about that.
So I'm guessing you didn't bang that chick.
0, nothing, no.
How many do you think Bon Jovi banged? A lot.
Well,
A
good for him.
shitload.
Good for him.
On
And
a
it's
bed of
ironic, too,
roses.
because I think he's Italian-American. I think he's got,
Yeah, he's Bon Jovi.
it's ironic that I'm so
Bon
upset
Jovi.
about this. Guinea John's like,
Yeah, he's
I
a
don't know.
guinea from New Jersey. You'd think you'd be on his side.
It's ironic that you're not over 1986 yet. You're still carrying a grudge for 30
over
fucking
Macho
years,
Grande.
man.
Oh,
No, I'm
now,
afraid I'll never get over Macho Grande.
I think, and especially since you have like you have an affinity towards really good vocalists, you would appreciate the guy's early work. At least he might not still have it, but the guy had a killer voice.
I
Just
used to
because
like
the songs were dog shit doesn't mean he wasn't talented.
I like Wanted Dead or Alive. We used to do that actually.
That's
We used to
all
sing
garbage. The only good song, he has is
Hair metal.
was that Runaway? Is that what that song's
That's
called?
the first hit. Yeah,
That song
She's a
is
little
so
runaway.
that song's so fucking good.
It is.
That,
It's a great
like,
song.
I don't understand how the rest of his stuff isn't that good. I mean, as far as I know, nothing else that he's done sounds like that.
I just think that you guys haven't really dug deep enough into the
I mean, I
the
had
one they call John Bon Jovi.
I had Slippery When Wet when it came out because I was, a kid, and I was like, what really pissed Guinea John off
that-
if I fucking bought this record. I mean, I was like 10. It was a huge thing.
You think
I mean,
that's a reference to like vaginal, like slippery one? Is that how bands like to
I
reference?
was-
vaginal. Is that I'm just
I
assuming
prefer to pronounce it vaginal.
the one fucking person here with an English degree.
Right.
Oh my god! Well, let's not get into what I do
would
in my
say yes.
other
That,
life.
the title of that is probably a double entendre. I would call it a hunch. I mean, everything was then. Everything was about
Vertical smile.
the alternate title. But yeah, I mean that was
Cherry Pie.
Right,
another
and that was
one.
that's.
I mean that
Warrant.
whole era. I mean it was just so hypersexualized. It was ridiculous. Because I mean that's all they're doing is just getting fucked up and banging chicks.
They were doing blow and just
Right.
getting Hummers backstage
Right.
24/7.
But I mean the Bon Jovi stuff. I mean that was huge. So yeah, I mean obviously as a kid, I mean you bought what was popular when you're 10 years old or your mom did. But yeah, I got over Bon Jovi pretty quickly and moved on to like harder stuff like Iron Maiden and Metallica.
Roto-Rooter is quick first aid for clogs, sewers, and stopped up drains. The wonderful Roto-Rooter machine twists and turns and shaves lines clean. Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away go troubles down the drain.
Roto-Rooter, Roto-Rooter.
Did you ever get to the bottom of your shit situation?
The bleeding out of my asshole.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a colonoscopy, and
it sounds like fun.
all good apparently. Just some minor, small inside hemorrhoids. He said,
Pretty sure I got some of those
Was that
myself.
the cause of what was
yeah,
happening?
pretty much. He said,
Wait, why he? I thought it was a petite black woman that was.
"Well, no, that's my actual physician."
Okay.
Sent you to a specialist
She sent me to a specialist who was, I guess, gastro.
who
something or
poked and
other.
prodded.
He
So-
no, he never actually had to. She poked once.
So
Didn't
when
really
they do
come
the
up-
colonoscopy, don't they put a camera in you?
yes,
Straight at the asshole?
yeah, but you're kind of asleep. I was asleep essentially. I don't remember it. I remember it coming out and seeing my asshole on the screen. I remember having some monster farts afterwards.
Right. In the room or when you were on your own?
They encourage you, like push the farts out. So
wow.
That was
because I imagine as they're
fantastic.
shoving that thing in, it's kind of pushing some air.
Well, they inflate you with air,
right?
To
Holy
give enough
crap.
diameter. Or
So
whatever.
that would be.
Right.
I would actually enjoy that.
So he
aspect
said
of it.
some minor.
He said that you actually enjoy that aspect.
I would,
I meant to have Christina videotape it, but you know,
or at least audio next time. I mean, if there is a next time, but
So you were farting like a champ.
apparently,
and just so it seems like that's all fine, all good in the hood.
yeah, good.
So did you like try to like extra prepare yourself beforehand before going to that meeting? Were you like spending like some quality time cleaning your butthole and everything?
You mean with the?
You mean? Yeah, I mean, I showered up prior to showtime, you
Right.
know, before the cameras,
But you
lights,
weren't
camera action.
You weren't spending like extra attention down there,
Not really.
knowing
I
that
mean,
things were going to be going into your butthole.
He's a professional. I wasn't going to shave it or cut a landing strip. If that's what you're asking. But
What did you have to do? Like, did you have to like drink clear liquids and not eat for 12 hours? Like, what was? What was that
no,
all?
there was. I had to take. Okay, so the pregame for this, so I couldn't eat at all the day before. The week going up, he said it basically gave some guidelines like no nuts, no certain things that would just be a problem for the camera, whatever. I didn't really even pay attention to that, and he even said he's like whatever, eat what you want. A day before, you have to not eat anything, and you have
24 hours before showtime.
correct,
Okay,
and
not
then
eat anything.
and then 12 hours. Like
Sounds terrible.
The day before also.
You have to take like some sort of solution, right?
Laxative.
Yeah.
Stool softener and laxative. So you take this Dulcolax, like basically like the package says serving 1 to 2, and he's like, you need to take like 6 of these motherfuckers. And I'm like, okay, so you take this, and then you drink this laxative stuff that you mix with 64 ounces of Gatorade, and it's a whole bottle. So this, what is normally like, says to take 1 to 2 spoonfuls to help your digestion if you're constipated or whatever. You dump that whole bottle of powder, all that shit, into this Gatorade, and you have to chug it in like a 4-hour period. And then you spray the toilet bowl like you've never sprayed before. Just pissing out your ass for hours and hours until you were empty.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So that was fun. I lost like 10 pounds. It's pretty cool.
I believe it.
And honestly, that was the worst part. Just shitting that night. The actual showtime was nothing.
Did you wake up? Did you feel violated?
I mean,
Did you like curl up in the shower?
I probably should have.
Like Elizabeth Shue and leaving Las Vegas.
It was a little leery when both his hands were on my shoulders.
Right.
Hey, Doc.
Oh my God.
How come I'm not seeing anything on the camera? What camera?
So what did you
Hey guys, no hands.
when you left? Did you go get like a fucking cheeseburger, or what did you do? Like, did you go eat a nice big meal, or what did you do?
I didn't really feel like eating too much.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forget where we went.
Okay.
It wasn't anything special.
The police. Kevin Spacey's house.
Went to file a complaint. I gave him a strong Yelp review. This doctor knew what he was doing.
Damn. So you had to get through your primary care doctor. She set up the colonoscopy appointment with the specialist. You can't just go, like a person like me can't just go straight to get a colonoscopy, right? I'd have to go through a primary care.
You need basically a prescription to go see this guy, which is you're being prescribed to go to a whatever.
I probably should do something like that.
I was gonna say you're like getting up to that age now. What are you now? You're like
44,
68.
When I say 50,
68.
I think it's 55.
Is when you're supposed to start getting
on the reg.
But I mean, have you gotten poked and prodded by the doc?
Never gave the old corkscrew.
Nope.
Nah, me neither.
Never. I had like my junk looked at maybe once or twice in my life by a female doctor.
I thought you meant just by a female.
What for?
It's embarrassing, like, because you're all shrivelly and small and shit. Just to check up, you know. I remember, like, at one point,
You gotta give it the pre-fluff.
after my marriage didn't work out, and I was like, you know,
Playing the field.
a bit of a Lothario, if you will. I just went in to have a checkup just for peace of mind, just like a VD checkup, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. Did they give you the swab? Did they
The
stick
old
like
Q-tip
the Q-tip in the dick hole?
In the dick hole? Yeah.
No,
That is the
my
fucking
God.
worst.
I think no. I think that did not.
Yeah, I had to get
happen.
that done, and that was awful because I did, kind of the same thing as you. Got out of a relationship.
Yeah.
Decided to, go make sure everything was good to go, because I was moving on to, other things.
Making sure it's all kosher.
Well, you know what
Right.
she told me. And,
So they, take your dick, which again at that point you're already nervous. So like you were saying, it's all shriveled and about as tiny as it's going to get. And they take the head of it and kind of squeeze it so your hole opens up, and they take a dry Q-tip, stick it in there, and then squeeze your dick on it, and then take it back out. Yeah, it was like the most uncomfortable, fucking terrible thing.
One thing she told me, and I wonder if you heard something similar, and this was fucking weird to me. You know HPV, like you know what that is, right? Women get it. I think it's like causes genital warts or something.
Okay.
Pretty
You
sure
familiar with
anyone can get it, but yeah.
She told me that when a man has HPV, like there's no way that a test can tell you if you have it. You either have it or you don't, but a test can't tell you. But the man can give it to women, but you can never tell a man that he has it definitively because it doesn't show up on tests.
No
That's
idea.
what she told me.
I was not told that.
I'm pretty sure something like 85% of the population has it anyway, so it's
Okay.
just one of those things.
Okay.
Right, you're gonna get it.
Yeah. You just freeze them off with a can of dust off and, bada bing, bada boom.
Right.
Dust off. All right, anyway. Jesus.
So how
My God.
So how could they have really given you the rundown if they didn't give you a swab?
I don't know. Maybe I had like the
They just looked at it.
maybe I had
Like
the
what?
light, maybe I had the light version. You must have had the premium package. I must have had like the basic package or something.
Maybe,
No pun intended.
or maybe they're just fucking with me now. I'm just like was that unnecessary? Did I need it? 'Cause that
Was this a Catholic
torturous.
hospital?
No.
This is what you get, sinner.
This
Q-tip in your dick.
this was the lady with the tiny hands. My doctor that had these little tiny hands that would keep touching me. She always wanted to shake
That's
your
good,
hand when
'cause
you
it'll
came
make.
in.
I like women with tiny hands because it makes your dick look bigger. You know.
No, I mean this would make it look like a fucking redwood. I mean, she was. I mean, she didn't have just like she didn't have. They weren't like they weren't just like they weren't tiny, but still in proper scale to her body. They were like
She had, like, baby
deformities, right?
Like that Kristen Wiig character on the Lawrence Welk
Right.
show.
Oh yeah.
And I'm Judy.
Human oddities.
So yes.
I mean, honestly, I'd almost prefer the more thorough with the swab because I don't want the discount checkup.
Right,
that
right.
Guinea John had over here. Where they just lift the underbelly. Ah, you look good. Good
Right.
to go, buddy.
And what's that thing that keeps flaring up on your face?
There was. I don't know. I don't remember now, but it wasn't like in any way invasive or scarring like you're describing. Like, it seemed to have, maybe it was like a blood test. Maybe I think that
sniffed
might
it.
have been it. Blood
Yeah, I mean, I
Gave
got
it a good once over and sniffed it.
under the hood.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got all sorts of blood work done, and yeah, they gave it a good once over, and then I got the swab.
Whew.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
I've heard of swabbing the deck, but swabbing the dick.
Doctor's a pirate.
Fuck.
Does it with his hook.
Yeah, I try to go to the doctors as little as humanly possible.
I haven't been for close to 2 years now.
I wish that was the case.
Yeah, since I've
I've seen
started.
more doctors in the past year.
In the past, and we're going back a little ways, but I was on what do you call it? What's a fancy word for that, Jeff?
But antidepressants?
Yeah.
Was that
That's a
fancy?
fancy.
No, you had like a
SSRI.
SSRIs. And I was also on statins for cholesterol for a while, and I'm done with both. Fucking, it's been a good while now, and
Yeah, they wanted to look at my cholesterol again, so they wanted me to get blood work done before because I guess my tries were a little high or
now,
something.
did you get that done at your doctor's office, or did you have to go to this fucking cattle call bullshit place?
Yeah, I had to go to one of those to get the blood work done, and they wanted me to get it done again because they didn't put me on anything for it. Because I told them, I was like, yeah, I just kind of ate a big fucking bag of popcorn at the movies last night. Probably shouldn't have done that. So they wanted me to get it done again just to see if it was legit this time. But then I just totally forgot to do it.
But you didn't forget to order that popcorn, did you?
No.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because there's a new study out saying that dietary cholesterol. Now the salt might have something to do with it, but dietary cholesterol does almost zero to actual like LDL and HDL levels.
I believe it.
Like, so you can eat as many fucking eggs as you want.
So what is it that causes the bad cholesterol to spike then? If it's not like eggs and shit like that,
it's either genetics, or inflammatory response to like sugars and carbs, refined carbs.
Well, I eat a fucking ass load of sugar like every other American, so.
Which is why we have such a high rate of heart disease and shit like that from eating processed food and.
I gotta cut that shit out, man. I eat such garbage.
You're better off essentially eating like bacon and eggs, and honestly, after hearing this stuff and then looking at my grandparents, it makes total fucking sense. They're in their late 80s. They eat nothing but like fats and natural foods.
Right.
My grandfather's eating bacon and eggs every goddamn morning of his life,
and they've been reasonably healthy, and
they move all the time. They they're active, and they don't eat any processed shit.
Right.
So, and they're, aside from like hearing and sight loss, that kind of stuff, but like body wise, they're healthy.
Right.
And it makes sense.
And I'm getting hearing and sight loss now, and I'm fucking 40. So.
But yeah, but that's what's pushed. That's what gets that's what makes the money. All that sugar and processed shit.
Delicious sugar and processed shit.
Yeah, it's true. I guess you gotta weigh it, pros and cons, the mouth pleasure versus the longevity.
I'm going mouth pleasure.
A lot of people do. I don't blame you.
Because I mean, honestly,
I do.
Another 30 years from now,
we're all hedonists.
In 2050, what kind of shithole is this fucking world going to be anyway?
Fuck, you give it that long?
Right. I might as well just live it up now and get fat and die.
I mean, we got 3 more years of Trump this term. What a shit show. On that note, we can bring that stuff back up next time, I guess.
Good enough.
It was a good talk. Good convo. Yeah. A lot of cynicism.
Yep. Guinea John got in a couple of rants here. I feel better. Thanks for hearing me out.
Get your dick swabbed before next episode.
Please.
Let us know about the experience.
I'm going to be too busy eating turkey and fucking,
And fucking.
Fucking turkeys. You better get that.
Can we have like a live out on the field report of you getting a proper STD swab?
Oh my god. Dude, I remember
footage. We'll blur it.
Remember Tom Green? Remember him? He used to have his own show in the 90s.
Familiar.
He did an episode where it was like him getting a ball removed.
Right. He had that cancer, right?
Yeah,
and he went through all that shit.
I remember at the end of it, like he held it up in a Ziploc, and it was like in the Ziploc.
I remember that too.
Oh my god.
I think he was banging Drew Barrymore at the time too.
Yeah.
Good for him. Way to be.
Right. Would you give a ball to bang Drew Barrymore?
No. Ooh.
I wouldn't give a ball for any fucking thing.
Oh, that's not true. My balls definitely have a price.
For sure. Well, okay, price. Yes. Yeah. They have to be kind of a lofty.
You're telling me you wouldn't give up a nut for $50 million?
Oh, well then, yeah. If it was painless. If it was some like draconian fucking.
This is not going to do it with like a pickaxe.
I mean, I'd take some pain for $50 million. I mean, it's true. Fucking, I mean, my pain threshold will be pretty high for 50 mil.
Yeah, but
I'd give up some shit for 50 mil.
Yeah, remember that dude who died from having his balls burst?
Oh, yeah, that is true.
It'd have to be like scientific precision involved.
Yeah, you got a point there.
$1 million. Would you give your
$1 million
left nut for $1 million at this point? I mean, you'd still have the other one.
I mean, I'm a hardcore yes for sure. I'm done with my nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
They've already been snipped once. You can just take one. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for $1 million.
It's rough. I
A
mean,
million would help. I probably
You were
would.
contemplating this way longer than I would.
I probably would.
All right.
That'll be another episode. We can hire a bunch of hookers to finger our buttholes and see who has a prostate orgasm the quickest.
Christ, I like that. Finger our buttholes. Wow.
On that note,
It's contest time.
until next time.
If you want to volunteer, please email us at
To be the giver, the fingerers. Yeah, you got to submit a photo, please.
of their hands.
We don't want Edward Scissorhands coming up
Right.
here.
If I see a hairy knuckle, you're out.
All right, we're out.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Taking the Cynic Route. You can email us at cynicroutepodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet us at cynicroutepod. Check out our Facebook and our Patreon and our website, www.takingthecynicroute.com.